Hello, it is House of Chillin', and today we have a very special video because we are not simulating anything today, but what we are doing is casting for Survivor Wild Shuffle All Stars. I am super excited for this. Sort of the format for how we're going to go about this is I'm going to go through all the DVD covers from each of the seasons and sort of break down on this document here. Oh, nope, that's the other one. Who we think should be absolute locks for this season, who should probably be on the season, and then who we can include if needed, if we're low on people or low on a specific season or anything like that. Then we'll go into Brant Steele and we'll change all this so that we get a look at the cast. And when we're doing that, then we can make sure we're making decisions. So, like people who were super close in their season maybe are not on the same starting tribe, people from the same seasons, maybe we try to split that up a bit the best we can. But ultimately, we want the best season possible, so we'll try to make the moves to do that. Also, one great thing about Simulation Survivor is we don't have to take into account anybody who maybe wouldn't play another season or like people from season 7 who might not want to come back right away. We're not going to care about that because this is a completely fictional simulation. So that's what we're going to do. Now, you might say, hey, what if there's people that you want to include that aren't on the DVD covers? Well, I think there's enough people on the DVD covers to consider. And if we think of the fact that these are the 6 sort of biggest characters on the season, there's probably not going to be people who are not on the DVD cover that I would still want to consider. I can absolutely hear it in the comments if there's people that you want on the season that aren't there because they weren't on the cover. But just for the ease of this video, we're going to stick with people who are on the DVD covers. So, starting out with Borneo Season 1. Let's look for locks first. I think there is absolutely a lock. I think Julia Carter has to be a lock to be on the season. She had a great winning season, a great character, and sometimes I think in these seasons you can be people can be kind of scared to cast winners because it kind of could ruin their legacy. I want this series as a whole to be something where people have the chance to build their legacy as much as possible. I want people to be able to be multiple time returnees and people to be able to work through that GOAT ranking. So, especially because we have a lot of fun, interesting winners, I think there might be a lot of winners on the season. So, I'm going to go ahead right here. I'm going to shut this because we don't really need this and it keeps confusing me. I'm going to put Julia Carter as a lock. Put that she's from season 1 here so that I can get a good look of where we're at with that. Okay, so Julia Carter a lock. John Fincher was a big character this season. I think he is right below a lock. In my opinion, I think we put John Fincher as a probably. I think he's probably somebody who should be here now. I might butcher some of these last names. I think he probably should be here, but I don't think he's a lock. Also, just based on how our series has gone, I think there's going to be a lot more women in contention. We've had a lot of really good female characters, not as many male characters. So I'm going to be kind of wary of that as well and try to bring as many men forward as possible so that we have lots of options. So John Fincher's a probably. Now let's look at the rest of the cast. Victoria, I think she was just somebody we needed to put on here. Jeremy Collins and Malcolm. I think you can only have one of them, and I think it's Malcolm. I think Malcolm went farther, I believe, has a bit more upside, and I think he's just sort of, yeah, he's kind of the character we're looking for here. I do absolutely think Jeremy is somebody who could come back, and what we'll do here is I'm going to put Jeremy as an if needed because if we're looking for more men, Jeremy's somebody who absolutely could come and be good here. And then I'm going to put Malcolm in the probably category. Then when we look at Vanessa, I'd like to see Vanessa play. I think it's going to be a hard competition for the women here, but we'll put Vanessa as a probably because I would really like to try to make that work. But also, like, look how much season 1 representation is here. We can't just fully load this with season 1. So that's how I'm sort of feeling so far. The only person we're full on not considering is Victoria here. And now I should be able to just click sideways and get to season 2. Okay, season 2. For me, season 2 is this. Now I close that thing with the rankings. But in terms of characters here, like there's nobody that I'm like, okay, this person needs to be on the season. This is an absolute lock. So I think this might have been one of the more weaker seasons. That's what I was gonna say. I wonder how low I had it in terms of my favorite seasons because to me this seems sort of like not that exciting of a cast. Mickey Lee was a really good winner, but I think we're going to have so many winners here that she's probably one that gets left behind. My favorite player from the season was Aurora, somebody that I'd absolutely like to have on the season. I think it's going to be hard in terms of the female competition, but I am going to put her in the if needed category. I really liked how she played this game, and that might be just a selfish pick for me where I put her in. But we're putting her in the as needed, if needed, right now, because if we have a bunch of women in the probably and the locks, I'm not going to put her ahead of them. Dr. Strunk, I think, was the sort of the best male character here. Him and Jordan Parhar were both good, but I'm putting Dr. Strunk as a lock here. We're going to need, I think that's how you spell it. If I'm butchering his name, I believe it's Dr. Strunk. Anyway, we're putting him as a lock here. He was a fun character in that season, and we're going to need season 2 representation. Kelly Wentworth was a fun character, but I don't think she did enough. If we're going to have somebody who's borderline from this season, I'd rather have Aurora. So we're going to take Kelly Wentworth out of the running here. And same with Nate. I just don't think he did enough. Jordan Parhar was a fairly big character this season, so we're going to put him in the if needed. Okay. And we're looking for 18, so 9 men and 9 women. Now, this was my favorite season so far, so I think we're going to have a little bit more conversation here. Starting with the winner, Jam Jam, the first man to win this game, an incredibly fun player. He's part of what makes this a really great season. Jam Jam is an absolute lock to be on All Stars. Joshua, I feel like Joshua was quite a fun character here. I'm going to actually put Joshua in the probablys. If we go back here, Christina Kell. I actually think Christina Kell is a lock for All Stars, especially because I really can't spell it. Christina Kell, she's a bit of a different dynamic, right? We have a lot of young players who have done great things. Not to say at any point she's old, but she's a little bit older and then has that really great competitive nature. So she's somebody that I think is a very fun person to add to this season. And then when we look down, Quinn, I believe his name's Quinn. I'm starting to forget some of these people's names. Quinn was a good character in the season. I think from what I remember, he was doing a lot and adding a lot to the drama in here and stuff. My problem is, I just think this season is so deep that I can't include him because both the other people I want to include here, PG, I think is a probably for sure. Now, let's be very clear here. I don't know how to spell PG's name, so I'm just going to put it like that. I know that is not how to spell her name, but it's just going to be easier for me to remember. And then we got Randy Bailey, who I'm also going to put as a probably here. Randy, again, is somebody who's a bit of a different archetype than most of the people here. He's an older guy. He's totally going to bring that drama. So season 3 is going to be heavily represented here because it's my favorite season, and I think there's just a lot of great characters in the season that will really make the All-Star season better. And also, too, like what we want to be cautious of is when you're casting these seasons, a big part of All Stars is pre-existing relationships, right? So I will be probably editing that a bit so that we have a bit of those relationships in here, just because I think that's a fun part of All Stars where there is they do know each other in the past, right? So casting a bunch of people from season 3, I'm not worried about the pre-existing relationships as much because there was a lot of fighting, there was a lot of chaos. I don't think season 3 is going to all group up together and run an all-star season. Then let's look at season 4. Season 4, I'm really annoyed that I didn't crop this properly because this doesn't look good compared to the other ones. I also think this season has a bunch of people who are probably going to be in All-Stars. So we start with Cody, who has to be a lock. He played the best game that season. He should have been the winner that season. So we're locking Cody in here from season 4. Somebody else I think has to be close to a lock here. We'll put him in the probablys, but I think Tevin really needs to be considered here. He was a big character this season, kind of chaotic and didn't play the best game. And I think if he did play better strategically, he could have won. But with that being said, he was still a really fun character. Then Dan K, I honestly really liked Dan in this season too. I don't think I could put him in the probably, so he's probably going to be in the if needed. And we'll keep this document as well for seasons like upcoming All-Star seasons, because if there's people who are in the if needed, I would definitely like to still bring them back on future seasons if that presents himself. And that's the problem, I think. Like, obviously I love the Survivor format, but what's nice about something like the challenge is you get to see so many people of these people back more regularly, where we're not going to have that much opportunity to bring some of these people back, but we're always going to have this as a live document for sure. Okay, and then that's all the men. Then if we look at the females here, Michelle played a fun game. I'd really like to see her come back. I'm going to put her on the if needed, only because I feel like the female returnee scope here is very competitive. But with that being said, I'm looking here, I'm putting on a lot more men, I think because I'm worried that the female scope is so much more competitive, but we're going to need 9 people here too. So I've got to make sure I'm putting the people I want here. So Michelle is if needed for sure. And then Sabaya, very good character as well. I'll put Sabaya in the if needed as well. I'm just going to look up, because if I don't look up how to spell Sabaya's name, I'm totally not going to know how to spell it. Okay, it looks like I did spell it right. Okay, so we have Sabaya there as well. So that means we had 5 of them, and then yeah, I'm not considering Jessie. I don't think she was that interesting of a winner, and she definitely was not a big enough character to come back to All-Stars here. Thailand was a really fun season, and I think there's a lot of people who could potentially come back here. Sierra Easton, what an incredible game. I feel like just because of how that game ended, Sierra is somebody we need to have come back here. And I'm going to put Sierra as a lock. She's a big character. She had an incredible win. And I think in terms of her legacy, this is where she can prove if she's anything more than just a good physical player, right? Because there was that one thing I always come back to where she socially connected with the tribe enough just so that on the merge they went voter out, and then she wins every other challenge after that. But can she do more than just win challenges? This was a very strong female season because we got J Maya and Ellie Scott. Ellie Scott was one of my favorite players in that season, so I'm going to put her in the probably here. How do you spell Ellie? We'll know what that means. And then J Maya. J Maya is going to go in the if needed. Again, I think all 3 of those women could absolutely be on this season. And then if we look at the men here, Josh Martinez, fun. He went home pre-merge. Fun character, but not somebody I'm looking to bring back. Then when we look at Kyle, I believe that guy's name is Kyle, right? Oh, I can't believe I'm forgetting these people's names. If I'm forgetting your name, does that mean you shouldn't be on All Stars? Potentially, but he was a big character, right? He was running a lot of alliances. Yeah, Kyle. Sorry about that. He was running a bunch of alliances, playing a pretty good game. I'm going to put him in the probably section. Kyle from season 5. I think he's somebody that could absolutely be on the season, but could absolutely miss as well. And Memphis, I just don't feel like Memphis did enough other than really kind of being Kyle's sidekick. So I'd rather have Kyle of these three men, and I think any of those three women could potentially be on this season. When we go to season 6, the two people I kind of want to put as I kind of want to put them as locks right away here. One second. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. Okay, yes. The people that I want, so obviously Aubrey, Aubrey needs to be on this season. She played an incredible game. And this is where she can build her legacy, right? So I feel like we have to put Aubrey, sorry I got so distracted there. We have to put Aubrey as a lock. And then I think this is where I was trying to think on the fly here. I think Kat kind of has to be a lock as well. And that's where my brain was kind of going for a second there, but I'm putting Kat as a lock as well. The thing is, now we already have 5 women locks, but that's okay. We want the players who we need to have here. And so I think Kat has to be here. And I just think there was such a great story too, where I didn't even know who she was at first, and then she totally dominated. I think you could make the argument that she's one of the best players to never win. So absolutely putting Kat here. I think only one of these men really needs to be considered for All Stars, and that's Johnny Bananas. The other two potentially could come back in future seasons, but I don't think we need them enough. And the men returnee is actually going to be a bit more competitive than I thought. Look at all these probablys. So we're going to have to make cuts. So I don't really need to add either of those other two to make my job here even harder. Going to the final season here. And I think it's just, yeah, we're lucky because we have a good crop of people, but we're going to have to make some hard cuts here. So I feel like Cirie is a lock. And not just because of her character and everything she brought to Real Survivor Universe, because I'm not considering any of that. She played a great game. She was a great character, and she's somebody that I want to see come back. So Cirie's the lock here from the women. I think we are going to lock in David here as well, just because with only 2 male winners and 2 male winners who were very interesting and played good games, I think I want to have both of them here. That then, if we look at just the locks, then we have 2 winners from the men's side. We have 3 winners from the women's side. So we'd have 5 winners overall here, and I'm okay with that. Like I say, I'm good with that sort of being people getting the opportunity to work their legacies here. Here's the problem. Natalie, so can we bring Natalie back? I just don't think so. I'm gonna put her on the if needed but I just think there's too much competition to get her in there. And also, like in terms of the women on the season, I would rather have Christy come back because Christy was just such a fun character. So I'm gonna put Christy in the probablys. But now we're gonna try to math this out, and people are gonna be getting cut here. So here's our list. Let's see how many men and how many women we have. So we need 9 of each. So far for the men, we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 in just the probably in the locks. 12, 13, 14. 14 men that we're going to have to cut down to 9. That's not the worst thing in the world, but it's going to be a little difficult. And then in terms of women, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Perfect. So we have 14 of each. So that means we are cutting 5 from each. So what I think is going to make the most sense to do here is start building out the cast in the Brant Steel, starting with our locks, and then going from there. So let's start with these lock men. None of them are on the same season, so that makes it a bit easier. Then what we're just going to try to do is make sure we're thinking of challenge-wise that we're not making one tribe incredibly overpowered. So we're going to start with Dan Strunk. We're going to put him on Chapera. And then we are going to put Jam Jam here. Is there another Jam Jam picture? Oh no, I thought it said Jam Jam twice, and I was like, oh, that might be fun to have a different picture since it's All Stars. Okay, and then we don't want two winners on the same tribe, so we're going to put Survivor Australia here. Actually, no, we're going to go to Deal or No Deal because that is the Dave we have. Okay, and then we have one more man who's a lock here. Let's see who that was again. That is Cody Calafiore. So I don't want to put him on the same tribe as David because they're both very good competitors. So we're going to put Cody Calafiore here on the same tribe as Jam Jam. Perfect. Okay, so now we've got our locked men all locked in here on the cast. Now we can start putting the women in here. So Julia Carter, she didn't play with any of those men, and she didn't play with any of the locked women. So we can kind of put her anywhere. I'm going to put Julia Carter in here on this tribe, just because I think Daniel's a little bit weaker in the challenges. So I want to make sure we're not making this tribe too weak. So Julia Carter is going to go here. Then we have Christina Kell, also really good at challenges. She's not a winner. Let's put her on this tribe as well, actually. We can always move things if we need to. Christina Kell. Right? Because wait, what season was she from? Is she from Daniel's season? No, she's season 3. Perfect. And obviously, there's going to be some overlap with people who've played in the same season. I just think when we're starting to build it out, if we can avoid that, let's avoid that. Then we have Sierra. She's a winner. So at this point, there's a winner on every tribe, so we're going to not be able to avoid that. So I'd say let's put Sierra on this tribe just to make sure we're filling all the tribes. So let's find Sierra here. Perfect. We've got Sierra on the tribe. Aubrey and Kat. So, oh wait, I put Sierra, right, there's no one else from season 5 there. Aubrey and Kat, we're going to want to separate just because they were both from season 6. Do we have any men from season 6 on block? No, we don't. Okay, looking here, let's put Aubrey on this tribe. Aubrey, where are you? She has 2 different pictures from 34. Which one do we like better to represent our winner here? I guess they're pretty much the same. I feel like that one we can see her better. Okay, so there's Aubrey, and then we're going to put Kat on a different tribe here. I put a woman. Each tribe has 6, right? Yeah. So we're going to put Kat here, and then we have to just make sure that we add 2 more men. So what I've done there is, I think because of somebody like Daniel, we've got 3 very good challenge women on that tribe. Just trying to make sure we have everything fairly balanced here. And then Cirie. So we're going to put Cirie. So Cirie played season 7. David's the only season 7er. So we're going to put Cirie here on this tribe. I'm just wondering challenge-wise, if we put our Mogo Mogo, because Jam Jam and Aubrey are better, like, they're sort of similar to her, where they're good at the mental things, but maybe not the strongest physically. I don't want to put her with David. It's not like they really had a great relationship or a bad one, but let's just keep Cirie. So we know we have to put Cirie somewhere, but let's just see who else we're going to put in here. So actually, that's going to confuse me. Let's just put Cirie somewhere. We can always move her if we don't feel that's the best. So we're just going to put Cirie here on this tribe. I understand she's with David, but that's okay. Perfect. So we got Cirie. So now we have all our locks in here. So now we can kind of work around to see of the probablys who we want to include. So we need 5 more men here. So let's just start with the men. So if we're looking at this list of men, we have 7 and we need to get it down to 5. Okay. So who on this list do I think is the must-have? First, I think John Fincher. I think we really want to have some season 1 representation. Him and Julia really were a great duo there. So we're going to put him in this season, but we obviously don't want to put him on this tribe because him and Julia are a very strong duo. So I'm going to put John Fincher on this tribe here, on the Mogo Mogo tribe. Perfect. So this tribe is finished with their men. This tribe needs 2 more, and this tribe needs 2 more. Okay. So who do I think is next? I want to put Randy in here because I just think Randy's somebody who's going to bring the drama and, again, a bit of a different archetype. So we're putting Randy on this season. Now we have a season 3er here. We have a season 3er here. Randy's actually not horrible in the challenges. Like, he can hold his own. So we're bringing Randy onto the island. Okay. So now we still have 3 more men to go. Okay. So as fun as it would be to see Malcolm here, I just feel like we've already got 2 representatives from season 1. And Malcolm wasn't as big of a character as somebody like a Tevin or a Bananas. I kind of want to bring both Tevin and Bananas in here. They're kind of the ones I'm looking at. Joshua, well, I think Joshua's a big character. We have so much season 3 representation now, so I'm going to go Tevin and Bananas right here. So let's see where Tevin and Bananas fit in. We're going to put the man who is the challenge on this tribe. John. There's always a huge section of Johnny Bananas here. I think we were casting him right around this era. It might be the exact same picture. We need a different picture when he has this many pictures. Yeah, we'll put that one. I don't know why that makes me laugh. He looks funny in that one. Okay, and then we're also putting Tevin in here somewhere. I think we'll put Tevin right here. Perfect. So then in terms of men, that tribe has 3, this tribe has 3, and so we can only cast 1 more man on this season. So let's go through here and see who do we feel like we need to have. So our options are kind of Malcolm, Kyle, Joshua. Those would kind of be our 3 options, right? We don't have any male representation in season 5. I think Malcolm's potentially more fun. And we might have another woman representing season 5 here. So you know what? I think we take Malcolm here. So that will put Malcolm on this tribe. And now I might have overpowered this tribe in terms of challengeability here. So I think what we're going to do is, no, but that would be really strong too. I think what we're going to do is we're going to put Randy on Chapera, and then we're going to put Malcolm, because yes, there's Malcolm and David, who is going to be very, very good, but we have a lot of good challengers here. So we got Malk down there, and then we're going to put Randy. This is hard. Like, if you guys are looking at this casting, you're like, I could have done a better job. Like, let me know what you would have done, because I think we're doing great here. So the Chapera tribe is finished. I really like that tribe. And then we have 4 more female spots now. Oh, right? Oh, 3 more female spots, because we have the 2 spots on Mogo Mogo and the 1 spot on Saboga. So this is going to be difficult to narrow it down. Let's look at. So we have 3 spots. Okay, that's actually not going to be as bad as we thought. We have 3 spots and 4 women fighting for these spots. So, So I'd like to put Ellie Scott here. I feel like she was a good character playing a good game and somebody who could do really well in a returnee season. So I believe her full name is Elizabeth. Was her last name not Scott? Why do I keep saying Scott? Oh, Elizabeth Scott. Yes, it was. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So she gets in, and we have 2 more spots for females here. Her and Sierra are on opposite tribes, just because they were from the same season. I want to put Christy Murphy here. I think she's really fun. We can't put her on this tribe because they already have 2 people from season 7. So I'm going to cast Christy Murphy here. She'll be happy to know Brady is not on this season. Okay, and then we have one last spot here for 1 more of the females, and it's going to come down to PG or Vanessa, unless we're willing to look here, because we do have some real good players here as well. Okay. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? So Vanessa, PG, I'm considering Aurora, if I'm being honest. I'm doing it. Here's the thing. This is my season, and Aurora is somebody that I just felt was cruising until she wasn't. So this is kind of my Boston Rob pick here, where the show really loved how Boston Rob played in his first season. Even though he didn't make the merge, he was somebody that they really wanted to bring back, and that's Aurora for me here. I felt like she was playing a great game until she was clipped too early. And so I'm going to bring her back and see if she can prove me right here. If not, that's on me. So this is the official cast of Survivor All-Stars. I am so excited. I am going to end the video here with the cast being revealed, the tribes being revealed. Fun part about this is in this video, please drop your winner picks. I always have to go out on a limb and pick my winner picks. I finally got my first one right with David last season, but I want to hear you guys' winner picks. So drop your winner picks, who you think is going to win, and this season will drop shortly. Hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know who should have been here and who you think is going to